The more you seek joy in others, the more you miss the greatest treasure within yourself. What if the secret to true happiness lies not in the company of others, but in learning to embrace your own presence? As Buddha said, peace comes from within, do not seek it without. Imagine finding fulfillment, not in the noise of the world, but in the stillness of your own heart. In today's video, we'll explore 7 transformative lessons on the joy of being with yourself and how solitude can become your greatest source of strength. Let's dive in and discover how powerful it can be to truly enjoy your own company. 1. Embrace solitude over foolish company. In a society where we're encouraged to be constantly surrounded by others, we often forget the value of being selective with our company. Buddhism teaches us to choose solitude over meaningless relationships. When you embrace solitude, you remove the influence of negative or foolish company and allow yourself to grow mentally and spiritually in a space of peace and clarity. True wisdom emerges when you are no longer distracted by the chaos of unproductive social interactions. Instead, solitude gives you the opportunity to strengthen your inner voice. Remember, it's better to be alone than to be in bad company, as solitude fosters growth, while negative company only hinders it. In this quiet space, you can focus on what truly matters in your life. It's where clarity emerges and peace begins to take root. 2. Spend time alone to know yourself better. The more time you spend with yourself, the more you understand who you truly are. In solitude, free from external distractions, you can reflect deeply on your desires, strengths, and even fears. This journey of self-awareness is a key principle in Buddhism, where knowing oneself leads to greater wisdom and inner peace. Time alone allows you to question your thoughts and motivations, deepening your understanding of your own mind. When you meditate or simply sit in stillness, you begin to unravel the layers of conditioned beliefs. Over time, you'll find that the answers to many of life's questions already reside within you, waiting to be uncovered through introspection. Every quiet moment spent with yourself is a step closer to clarity. In solitude, you begin to see yourself for who you truly are, without external influences clouding your perception. 3. Overcoming the fear of being alone. Many people fear loneliness, but Buddhism reframes this fear as an opportunity for growth. Being alone is not something to be feared. It is a space to confront your inner self and emerge stronger. As you spend time alone, you'll learn to be comfortable with your own presence, realizing that you are complete and enough on your own. This practice helps you become emotionally resilient, so you no longer depend on external validation for happiness. The fear of loneliness is often rooted in the misconception that we need others to complete us. But when we overcome this fear, we discover that our true power comes from within. Overcoming this fear is liberating, as it frees you from unhealthy attachments and relationships that drain your energy. In solitude, you learn to appreciate the stillness and see that being alone is where your inner strength thrives. You become your own anchor, unshaken by the absence of others. 4. Solitude is a space for self-discovery. In solitude, you create a sacred space where self-discovery can take place. Without the noise of others' opinions, you can tune into your own thoughts and feelings, exploring your true potential. Buddhism views solitude as a gateway to understanding one's deeper nature, free from the clutter of external expectations. This is where you discover your strengths, passions, and what truly brings you joy. As you deepen this relationship with yourself, you begin to see life from a clearer, more empowered perspective. In this quiet space, you can realign with your values, recalibrate your goals, and discover the passions that may have been lost in the busy pace of life. Solitude opens the door to self-acceptance, and in that acceptance, you find the freedom to be your truest self. It's a journey that leads to profound inner peace and personal growth. 5. The strength of independence. Rely on yourself. Buddhism places great value on the idea of self-reliance, meaning that you are responsible for your own well-being, happiness, and progress in life. When you spend time in solitude, away from distractions and outside influences, you begin to realize that you are capable of handling life's challenges on your own. This is a powerful realization. It shows you that you don't need to depend on others for support or validation all the time. Instead, you develop the ability to face difficulties head-on and find solutions from within yourself. This journey of self-reliance strengthens your character, making you more resilient and better equipped to handle whatever comes your way. As you rely more on yourself, you begin to feel a sense of empowerment. You no longer feel the constant need for external approval or guidance. This doesn't mean you must shut people out or avoid help when needed, but it does mean that you understand that your ultimate source of strength comes from within. The less you depend on the outside world to make you feel secure or happy, the more peace you will find within yourself. This peace comes from knowing that you have everything you need inside you to handle life's ups and downs. Being independent does not mean being isolated or cutting yourself off from others. It means recognizing that your happiness and sense of security don't depend on anyone else. You can still enjoy meaningful relationships and connections, but you understand that no one else is responsible for your inner peace. By learning to solve your problems and manage your emotions independently, you gain a deeper sense of confidence. You know that no matter what happens, you have the skills and inner strength to navigate through it. This process of building self-reliance also develops self-trust. You begin to trust your own decisions and judgment instead of constantly seeking the opinions of others. This trust in yourself helps you approach life's uncertainties with a sense of calm and grace, knowing that you have the capability to figure things out as they come. You stop doubting your abilities and start believing in your capacity to overcome obstacles. In the end, relying on yourself teaches you to become your own best ally. You realize that the answers you seek are always within you, and it's just a matter of trusting yourself enough to uncover them. This inner strength transforms how you view challenges, and instead of fearing them, you see them as opportunities to grow even stronger. 6. Embrace self-companionship. You are enough. One of the most profound lessons in Buddhism is the understanding that you are enough just as you are. In a world that constantly encourages us to seek validation from others, whether through social approval, relationships, or material success, it can be difficult to realize that true contentment comes from within. Self-companionship means embracing the idea that you can be your own best friend, your own source of love, and your own source of happiness. It's about learning to enjoy your own company and finding peace in the quiet moments with yourself. When you spend time alone, you get to know yourself on a deeper level. You begin to understand your thoughts, your feelings, and your desires without the influence of others. This self-awareness helps you develop a stronger relationship with yourself, where you no longer rely on external validation to feel good about who you are. You learn to accept your imperfections, your strengths, and your uniqueness, knowing that you are enough just as you are. This self-acceptance is incredibly liberating because it frees you from the pressure of constantly trying to live up to other people's expectations. Embracing self-companionship also means treating yourself with kindness and compassion. Often, we are our own worst critics, quick to judge and criticize ourselves for our mistakes or shortcomings. But self-companionship teaches you to approach yourself with the same care and understanding that you would offer to a close friend. When you make a mistake, instead of beating yourself up, you offer yourself words of encouragement and forgiveness. This practice of self-compassion helps you build a healthy and loving relationship with yourself, which is the foundation for inner peace and happiness. As you grow more comfortable with self-companionship, you start to realize that you don't need to constantly seek approval or validation from others to feel worthy or loved. You become more confident in who you are, knowing that your value is not determined by what others think of you, but by how you feel about yourself. This inner confidence radiates outward, making you more attractive and magnetic to others, but without the need to depend on their approval for your happiness. Self-companionship also involves learning to enjoy being alone and finding joy in solitude. Many people fear being alone because they associate it with loneliness, but there's a big difference between being alone and feeling lonely. When you embrace self-companionship, you learn to enjoy the peacefulness that comes with solitude. You discover new interests, explore hobbies, and find joy in the simple moments, such as reading a book, going for a walk, or meditating. These activities allow you to connect with yourself on a deeper level and bring a sense of fulfillment that doesn't depend on others. As you deepen your self-companionship, you begin to cultivate a sense of independence and self-sufficiency. You realize that you are responsible for your own happiness and that true fulfillment comes from within, not from external sources. This inner peace becomes your anchor, providing stability even during challenging times. You start to embrace solitude not as something to be feared, but as a necessary part of your personal growth and self-care. Solitude becomes a space where you can recharge, reflect, and reconnect with your true self. Self-companionship strengthens your emotional resilience. You become less reactive to outside influences and more in tune with your inner needs. When you are content with who you are, external criticism or praise no longer has the power to sway your emotions. You develop an inner calm that allows you to navigate life's ups and downs with grace. This emotional independence is key to building a life rooted in peace and self-confidence, free from the need for constant validation from others. Another benefit of self-companionship is that it leads to more authentic relationships with others. When you are comfortable being with yourself, you don't enter relationships out of neediness or fear of being alone. Instead, you form connections based on mutual respect, love, and genuine interest. You are no longer seeking someone to complete you because you already feel whole within yourself. This shift in perspective leads to healthier, more balanced relationships where both individuals can thrive. When you realize that you are enough, you stop searching for external sources of happiness. You become more self-sufficient, emotionally stable, and resilient. Life's challenges and difficulties become easier to handle because you have built a strong foundation of self-love and self-worth. In this space of self-companionship, you find true joy and fulfillment, not because of what you have or who is around you, but because of the relationship you have cultivated with yourself. The beauty of self-companionship is that it stays with you no matter where you are or what you're going through. It becomes your anchor in difficult times, your source of strength in moments of doubt, and your wellspring of happiness when the world around you feels uncertain. You are enough, and embracing that truth allows you to experience life with more joy, peace, and confidence. Every step you take towards self-companionship leads you closer to discovering the unshakable contentment that lies within. 7. Value the power of being an individual. In a world that constantly pushes us to conform to societal expectations, norms, and trends, it can be challenging to appreciate the power of being an individual. Buddhism, however, teaches us to value our individuality, recognizing that each of us is unique with our own set of talents, strengths, and wisdom. Being an individual means embracing who you are without feeling the need to fit into molds that society often places on you. It's about celebrating your uniqueness and understanding that your individuality is your strength, not something to be hidden or suppressed. When you spend time alone, you have the chance to reconnect with your authentic self. You're no longer influenced by the opinions, judgments, or expectations of others. In solitude, you can hear your own thoughts clearly, reflect on your own desires, and better understand what truly matters to you. This practice of introspection allows you to see yourself as an individual, separate from the roles and labels that society may have imposed on you. In this space, you can respect your own values, beliefs, and passions without outside pressure. Appreciating your individuality means understanding that you're not supposed to be like everyone else, and that's completely fine. You are here to follow your own path, make your own choices, and live a life that matches your true self. Realizing this can be very powerful, as it frees you from always comparing yourself to others or needing approval from the outside world. Instead, you start to trust your own judgment and follow your inner guide, knowing that your uniqueness is what makes you special. In a world where we're often taught to seek approval through things like career success, popularity, or wealth, Buddhism teaches us to turn inward and find worth in who we are as individuals. The more you value your individuality, the less you feel the need to follow others' expectations. You realize that your worth isn't based on how well you fit into society's standards, but on how honest you are with yourself. This change in thinking helps you build self-confidence and feel proud of who you are. Being an individual also means having the courage to stand alone when needed. There will be times when your values, beliefs, or choices don't match those of the people around you. In those moments, it's important to stay true to yourself and honor your uniqueness, even if it means not following the usual path. Buddhism teaches us that true strength comes from within, and part of that strength is being yourself, even when others disagree or criticize you. When you respect your uniqueness, you begin to care less about fitting in and focus more on living by your real values. Accepting your individuality also helps you make choices that reflect your own beliefs and goals. Instead of simply copying what others are doing, you no longer feel the need to live up to others' expectations or chase goals that don't feel right for you. Instead, you create a life that is truly your own, filled with purpose and meaning that matches who you really are. This sense of personal freedom is one of the greatest benefits of valuing your uniqueness. It gives you the power to shape your own journey, free from the pressure of society's expectations. Valuing your individuality doesn't mean closing yourself off from others. It simply means connecting with people in an honest and real way. When you honor your own uniqueness, you also give others the space to do the same. This leads to deeper, more meaningful relationships because you're no longer pretending to be someone you're not. You connect with others as your true self, which helps build mutual respect and real understanding. People are naturally drawn to honesty, and when you accept your true self, you attract those who appreciate you for who you really are. A big part of valuing your individuality is understanding that your unique perspective and life experiences have something important to offer the world. Everyone's journey is different, and your challenges, experiences, and lessons shape how you see life. By embracing your uniqueness, you bring something to the world that no one else can. Your voice, ideas, and actions matter because they come from your own special point of view. When you truly see this, you stop trying to copy others and begin to show your real self with confidence. In the end, valuing your individuality means accepting and celebrating the beauty of your own journey. It's about realizing that your life path, with all its highs and lows, is yours alone. It's about standing firm in your truth, even when the world around you tries to make you blend in. Buddhism teaches that the journey to peace and enlightenment starts with being true to yourself and living in line with your true nature. When you accept your individuality, you feel a sense of freedom and inner strength that helps you live with purpose, joy, and meaning. By honoring your uniqueness, you become a light of truth in a world that often prefers everyone to be the same. You inspire others to accept their own uniqueness and live lives that feel true to who they are. In doing so, you help create a world where different ideas, creativity, and individuality are welcomed. You are already enough, just as you are. And by valuing your true self, you open the way to a life filled with real happiness, deep peace, and lasting contentment. The joy of being at peace with yourself is one of the greatest gifts that Buddhism offers. When you start to enjoy your own company, solitude becomes a space for growth, peace, and true happiness. Thank you for watching. If this message spoke to your heart, feel free to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more Buddhist wisdom. Share your thoughts in the comments below. How do you find joy in your own company? Let's inspire one another with your stories and insights.